welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I am your host, and you already know the deal. I'm excited. I'm always excited about promoting and supporting Black business, brown businesses, women-owned businesses here in Miami-Dade County, here in South Florida. And it is Black Business Month, and I have my good friend. I've been knowing this young lady for many years, and I am just proud to know her, Miss Shirlyon MCWhorter.
Thank you, Eric.
Attorney Shirlyon MCWhorter. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm great. Good. You know, it's so good to see you. So good to have you on. So good that you are a part of the Miami-Dade Chamber. As we celebrate, you know, I've been talking all this time on the other shows, and we're celebrating 50 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, the Chamber was founded back in 1974 by individuals who saw the need for a chamber that would advocate and fight for opportunities for our Black businesses, and here we are, unfortunately, still fighting for opportunities. And you know better than most. Tell the audience a little bit about you.
Yes, as you stated, I'm Shirlyon MCWhorter, country girl from Wauchula, Florida, which is like Central Florida, Orlando, Orlando area. But again, I grew up there, went to Bethune-Cookman, proud Wildcat. Also went to the University of Florida Law School, where I graduated with the goal of becoming a judge, coming to Miami, and I moved here and have been here ever since. Right.
What was that transition like? Coming from Wauchula, country girl, to this fast city?
Yeah, it's funny because when I go to Wauchula, and I go there quite often, at least once a month, my mom's there, but when I go there, people are always like, you still live down there in Miami? Because to them, this is another world.
Right.
But I love Miami. The transition was an easy one for me. I think that I'm a country girl at heart, but I love the city, the lights and all that it has to offer, and certainly proud to be a part of organizations like the Black Chamber, as well as others, but it affords you so many other opportunities that I didn't necessarily have growing up in a small city like Wauchula.
Talk about that. You just mentioned, you know, being a part of the chamber and others. You know, a lot of people think, well, you got to be this or that, and it's important. There are members of the chamber that are members of many other chambers. There's the Women's Chamber that was founded by Thelma Gibson, one of our matriarchs here in Miami-Dade County. And so talk about that, being engaged with other organizations.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important to be engaged, whether you're a business owner or, you know, just a person in our community, because there's so many opportunities out there. For me, when I decided I wanted to be a judge, it was very important for me to know lots of people, to have lots of support. And while the governor made the appointment, it was important that I had others who were writing letters for me, who were doing other things. And so we as people of color need to know and I want to encourage people that we don't want to be one-dimensional. Right,
absolutely.
We need to be multidimensional.
I talk about it all the time. But talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. And you know, like sometimes people say, well, why do you join Black organizations? You're Black, you already know those people. No, but we have to support each other, and we also bring something to the table that we may not necessarily get from someone somewhere else. You know, it's just like if a person comes to me there are people who come to me to do estate planning because I'm a Black female. Because they think I'm going to understand their plight, right? They can relate. And so for me, it's just like law school. Go get a little bit of information from this study group over here that looks like you, and then go to that other study group that has some information that you don't even know about. Right. And so I see the chamber in that same position in order to help businesses who may or may not know what chambers have to offer. There are some things that you will give to them that they're not going to get from another chamber.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I say that I pride our chamber is the technical assistance that we provide each and every day. It's connecting, getting business certified to do business with local government, whereas some chambers, they're not that. They provide the opportunity to network and connect with other businesses, other like-minded individuals. We do that also. But we all have our niche, so to say. But as you said, and then we as Black people, we're different. And we And it's not always, because I'm not going to go into the political realm
Yeah.
because I could go there. I could go there, so I'm not going to go there. But it is Black Business Month. In August we celebrate that. What does that mean to you?
Coming from the small town of Wauchula, Black Business Month means everything to me, because as a kid growing up, there were very few Black businesses in my community. But my upbringing, my grandparents owned the little cafe down the street, right, where they sold beer, hamburgers, fish sandwiches, and things like that.
Right.
So at a very early age, unlike some of my other friends, I was exposed to that. And so I understand and have an appreciation for Black businesses and what they go through in order to maintain and retain those businesses, which is, very, very important to our community.
Right. And that had to be interesting, as you say, growing up in a small town. What is the demographic of Wauchula?
There's about 5,000 people that live in Wauchula.
Okay, and the ethnic breakdown?
The majority of people live there. They have a very high Hispanic population. In terms of Blacks, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are.
While you were growing up, I mean.
Oh, when I was growing up, it was whites and Blacks,
Okay.
right? And we were a very small percentage. My brother and I, first two Blacks to go to the
Wow.
to the white school.
Okay.
And really quickly, I'll tell you, my mom, who I just had a reunion for her, all 6 of them that are still living. She went to school in Arcadia, which is, probably about 50 miles down the road.
Okay.
She went to school there because they did not allow people of color to attend the high school there in Wauchula.
And that's, we talk about that here in our lifetime, that those things really happen. And, I said I didn't want to get into the politics, but, it is interesting, again, that we experience this in our lifetime, and we have folks who, don't get it. And I'm not going to get into the depths of that. But again, it made you have a diverse upbringing and an understanding, I would say. Talk
Yes.
about that a little bit.
Understanding and appreciation.
Okay.
I think that's really important, right? That not only do we understand, but we have an appreciation. It's okay to have a Black chamber, right?
Right.
It's much needed. Like it's okay to have a Bethune-Cookman and a Florida A&M.
Absolutely.
Much needed. There are people.
Well, the thing is, you had to have it because you didn't have a choice.
Exactly.
So go ahead, I cut you off.
No, I think that's important, and there are lots of people who still ask that question.
Why?
Why do we need to have,
Right.
these Black entities? But it's very, very important, and for people like me, I see it just highly necessary, right? And but for some of these organizations, I always use the but for clause, right? But for this, but for that, where would we be?
Right.
So it's very, very important, and I have a deep understanding and appreciation for it. And I think there's lots of people who have the understanding but don't have the appreciation, and you can't have one without the other.
That's deep. That's very true. That's very true. Well, before we go any deeper into who you are and what it is that you do, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. We're going to let one of our supporters talk to you.
Learn and earn today at Miami-Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MDC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MDC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I am your host, Eric Knowles, and we have former judge, attorney, Shirlyon MCWhorter. And we're just here talking about her upbringing. We're talking about Miami and the need for Black chambers, the need for organizations that support the Black community. It is Black Business Month. But you are a practicing attorney, and you do a lot of estate work. Talk about the work that you do.
Yeah, so I am an attorney who does estate planning.
Okay.
And estate planning includes wills, trusts, probate, those sorts of things.
And before you get started, I'm going to be, transparent. And, one thing in our community, it's something that we don't do is estate planning, wills, and we end up losing our properties. Our families end up arguing and fighting over things that we shouldn't be arguing and fighting over. I remember my grandmother, when she was, I guess, my grandmother lived to 104. And around when she was in her 80s, I wanted her to get a will, even to the point where I had a friend. I said, I'm not going to be in the room. He's going to talk to you. And I had family members that were upset that I was having an attorney come talk to my grandmother about doing a will, because they felt like I was going to take advantage of her. And, you know, that's the trouble that we get into. And that's the challenges and we lose so much. So I want to open the door to say, I was almost that person that didn't, let time go by and say, well, I'm going to live forever. And so finally, I did have that opportunity to sit down with Attorney McWhorter and take care of my business. And so anyway,
Eric,
being transparent.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. So I think that what you just described in terms of your grandmother, that is so typical in our family in terms of Black and brown people. There's no doubt about that.
And again, not to cut you off, but people will look at me, I'm the businessman, I run the chamber, he got his thing together. But there's probably so many of us, that doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, that do not have their act together. So I'm saying this to you today: don't be so high and mighty and think that you're going to live forever. And we need to take care of this business.
No, I think you're right on point. And because one of the things about estate planning that a lot of people don't, we talk about the wills, right? That we know that we need a will, we need a trust. But one of the things that happens with estate planning is it is not only for the deceased, it's also for us while we're living. We did your power of attorney. We did your health care directive. You know, those things are the most important document that I think anyone, no matter who you are, should have. But by the time you're 18 years old, you should have a power of attorney. If something happens to me today, who's going to take care of my affairs? Who has the right to? I know we have somebody who will do it, but who has the right to take care of it? Who is the bank going to allow to take care of it?
And the point that you're making, if you are a parent and you got 4 or 5 kids, you don't want them arguing and fighting. The oldest one may not be the right person to be in charge, even though they're the oldest person. So talk about that a little bit.
No, you're exactly right. You're right on point. And we encourage families, we encourage parents to think about, you don't just come in and you get in, we talk to you, do the paperwork and you go home. No, I'm going to have a conversation. I'm a people person. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy assisting and helping people. When I retired from the state, that's what I decided to do, is estate planning, so that I could help our community engage in the process. So as a parent, we think we know our children. They're loving and kind as long as we're there. But let me tell you, I've seen families that were so tight and so close, but when the mother died, it's like, oh my God, you would have thought that they had different parents. You would have thought that they did not grow up together. And so what we don't want to do is leave these things to chance. Right? We want to take care of them now. And not only that, if you don't have these documents prepared, you're going to probate court.
Talk about probate. A lot of us, we hear about it all the time. What does that mean?
Okay, probate is that process by which a court is going to look at your documents, if you have documents, and interpret them. Right? They're going to make sure that what you said you wanted to happen is going to happen, but it must go through the court process. So a lot of people are confused in that they think if I have a will, it doesn't go to probate. Right? But a will goes through probate. If it had, and so what we do while we do wills, we also make sure that that will is ironclad, in that there are things in there that we're going to allow to pass in certain ways that it can bypass the court. And that's really what you want to be working with. Very, very important, which is why a lot of people choose to do trust, because a trust does not go through that process. It does not go through a judge, as well as it's very private. And it doesn't, the public won't know about that.
Well, why would a person need a trust?
A trust, for some people, like right now, Eric, trusts are sexy. Everybody wants a trust.
Okay. You hear about it all the time.
Exactly.
Put your house in the trust. Do this. Talk about that.
Right. So there are 2 types of trust: revocable and irrevocable. An irrevocable trust is once you put things in that trust, you cannot touch it ever again. The good things
Wait a minute. Hold up. If you put something in the trust, because the person that put it in the trust, can they not do anything?
No, it's irrevocable. Cannot be revoked.
Oh, wow.
Irrevocable, which is why most people do revocable trust.
Okay.
That revocable trust is yours. You can change it anytime at any given point that you choose, as long as you're living. Once you pass away, it becomes irrevocable,
Okay.
and now it cannot be changed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think you told me that, but wow.
Yes. So that irrevocable trust, most people do that. You get the tax break with an irrevocable trust because you're not going to touch that. You're not taking the money in and out of that. Whereas a revocable one, you can remove that money at any time.
And why would you have an irrevocable trust? What does that allow when you pass? What does that allow the family to do?
So that irrevocable trust, some of the same things that happens with your revocable trust, because remember that trust becomes irrevocable as well.
Well, yeah.
But that irrevocable trust, for most people, a lot of people do it, it's the tax breaks.
Okay.
I'm going to get a huge tax break when I am have that irrevocable trust. And the other part of it, if I'm affluent and I have enough money that I'm going to put this money in this trust, I'm going to put this whatever in that trust, and I don't ever need to touch it. It's going to my child. I know I'm never going to need it. Right? Then I put it in irrevocable because I'm never going to need to touch it. Whereas there's some of us who are not in that position. We just might need that money at some point, depending upon how
Right.
things go in our life.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all heard of trust babies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not one of those, but anyway.
Yes.
What are some of the other areas that you delve into when it comes to family planning?
Okay. So again, we talked about that most important document with the power of attorney. And I want to say that your children, who you consider still your children, but they're 18, 19 years old, the state says they're adults. If they should go off to college, if they should get in an accident, you have no right to their medical records. You have no right to make decisions on their behalf because they're considered adults. So all these kids that are about to go off to college, we want to encourage those parents to reach out to McWhorter Law so that we can help them get those documents in place, even if it's just that power of attorney, so that they would have access to their children's medical records, their bank accounts, and things like that, should there be a need.
That one, that's very important, and that's one I'm sure 90% of us don't even know anything about.
Exactly. That's my child. I pay for them to go to school. I get to see this. No, you really don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't done this, tell them.
If you haven't done this, you need to do this. It is very important. Again, as you said, one of the things that happen, this is not just about death. This is also about living while you're living. The chances of a person becoming incapacitated are very, very high, no matter who we are, right? We see people in nursing homes. We see people who have strokes. We see people who have heart problems, and they can't deal with those, their financial affairs. That power of attorney allows someone to do that. One of the things we've not talked about is the need to be resuscitated or not, right? Most people, there are lots of people who say, I don't want to be resuscitated, right? Well, if you have 5 children, one child is, I can't believe you're trying to resuscitate mom. That you don't want to resuscitate mom. This is terrible. You're killing her. Another child said, no, but mom told me that. So it's important for us to make those decisions for our family so that we can cut out the chaos, the confusion, and the courts.
How does someone get in touch with you?
They can reach me at 1-800-391-8860, or they can reach me. I'm over at the Oasis building, which is 640 Northwest 183rd Street. And we're also online at McWhorterLawGroup.com.
And if you want to get in touch with the Chamber, 305-751-8648, m-dcc.org. This is Black Business Month, the month of August. See you at one of our events.